At 0247 local time, 4 B-2 Spirit stealth bombers, call signs Petro 41 through 44, were pushing into Iranian airspace from 3 different vectors. Their mission? Destroy Iranian ballistic missile storage sites buried in deep underground caves throughout the country. The Iranians thought their missiles were safe, but little did they know, they were about to get a taste of the freedom to read 'em. Petro 41 and 44 were 90 miles southeast of Tabriz North Missile Base, and the mission commanders are deep in the drop. The complex they're about to hit has some Bond-villain level engineering, with 8 cave entrances and 6 vertical shafts that allow the Iranians to fire straight upwards even if entombed in the cave. The math is brutal. They have to figure out bearing, speed, time, wind direction, and a half dozen other variables to find that one point in space where they need to release their payloads. And right in the middle of this calculation, their radios squawk with a problem. This is Viper 1, 2 contacts, bearing 045, climbing through Angels 20, looks like fulcrums. 2 MiG-29s scrambling out of Tabriz Air Base, which sits barely 15 miles from the missile complex Petro 41 and 44 are about to seal shut. The B-2 crews absorb this in silence. Radio transmissions can be detected, geolocated, exploited. Silence is doctrine, but silence doesn't mean calm. Here's the problem. A B-2 in a fight with a MiG-29 is like a billionaire in a tuxedo stuck in a dark alley, with a fortune, completely unarmed, and surviving entirely on the hope that nobody notices it. Iranian ground radars searching for a Spirit might as well be looking for a specific grain of sand on a beach at night. But a MiG-29 has an infrared search and track sensor called IRST, and it doesn't care about radar cross-sections. It looks for heat, and 4 General Electric F-118 engines pushing a 150-ton aircraft through thin air are not cold. If those MiGs get within 30 miles, they might pick up the thermal signature. Might is not a word B-2 pilots enjoy. That's why they brought friends. The 2 F-22s, call sign Viper 1 and Viper 2, push to military power and turn toward the contacts. Viper 1's APG-77 radar locks both MiGs from 60 miles. At that distance, the Iranians see nothing on their Zuk-ME radars, specially delivered by Russia last year for exactly this purpose. Inside Petro 41 and 44, the mission commanders watch the escort peel away on the tactical display. 2 triangles pulling northeast, 2 red triangles climbing southeast. Geometry they cannot control. What they can control is the bomb run. And right now, the timeline says 70 miles to release, 12 minutes. They need those MiGs gone before they get there, because open bomb bay doors multiply the B-2's radar cross-section by a factor of 100. At 12 miles out, any Iranian radar, airborne or ground-based, that happens to be looking in the right direction gets an early Christmas present. The mission commanders keep working. Aperture coordinates confirmed. Tunnel entrance sequences locked. They cannot afford to look up. Outside, the F-22s are closing the geometry. At 50 miles, Viper 1 goes active. Deliberately, he wants the MiGs to know someone is here. Radar warning receivers light up in both Iranian cockpits. 2 separate locks. The lead MiG does the smart thing. Banks hard left and descends, dragging toward the mountain ridgeline where terrain clutter muddies the picture. His wingman follows. They're not running. They're maneuvering, using the valleys northwest of Tabriz to break lock and reposition. This is the scenario nobody wanted. Running MiGs are a solved problem. Let them go. Fighting MiGs in open sky are a solved problem. Shoot them down. MiGs that hide in terrain clutter and probe back toward the corridor every few minutes, that's a cat and mouse game that burns time Petro 41 doesn't have. Viper 1, tally lost. Terrain masking. Bearing last 030. 9 minutes to release. The mission commanders work the bomb run checklist in silence while 2 red contacts flicker in and out of the clutter on the tactical display. Viper 2 picks up the wingman first. Brief infrared bloom as the MiG's engines reheat coming out of a valley turn. Bearing 025, 15 miles, climbing. He's making another push toward the corridor. Viper 2, contact. Single fulcrum, northeast. Climbing through Angels 15, engaged. The Raptor pilot rolls in and takes the shot. AMRAAM screams off the rail, accelerating to Mach 4, seeker locked. At 15 miles, this should be a formality, but the MiG pilot sees the launch warning and does the one thing that can save him. Rolls inverted and dives straight into a canyon. The valley walls swallow him. The AMRAAM seeker loses the return in ground clutter, and a missile that costs more than people's houses meets a mountainside instead of a MiG.